And welcome to Between the Posts. We are at round 6, a third of the way through the season. I'm Tommy Javor, your host, and the man next to me probably needs no introduction. Welcome to the show, Tony Neill.
Well, thank you very much, Tommy, and most of the people now see me in this hat, and I did rock up to an interview recently, and I had the little case of wine for the Farmer's Leap, and someone said, "Is that your hat in there?" It's not that good. So, we'll get rid of that one. Tommy, breakthrough mental health round, very important yesterday.
It certainly was Breakthrough Mental Health round, and if you are struggling, Breakthrough Mental Health is a wonderful agency that can support you. Now, you were out and about yesterday, mate. You were one of those great Division 1 commentators at times. Where were you?
Yes, Tea Tree Gully versus Prince Alfred Old Collegians, and beautiful day up there at Tea Tree Gully, and we'll cover that when we get to the Division 1 wrap.
We certainly will. Speaking of Division 1 wrap, we've got my Division 1 wrap. Beck Northcott will be in with her Division 1 wrap. We've got the Farmer's Leap Coach of the Week. What else have we got, Tony?
Division 7 wrap. We'll have a look at what's been happening down there, because I don't worry about the divisions, I worry about football as football, and that's what it's all about. We've got the marks of the week and the goals of the week.
Now, of course, Tony, you are an analyst who, well, you go into the minutiae and you go dive deep in within an inch of its life. So I'm looking forward to seeing what caught your eye in what caught our eye as well. Now, there's 270 teams and so many amazing stories, and in other stories now there's 271 teams with the return of the Elizabeth Reserves. But stay tuned for more Between the Posts. Back to Between the Posts, Division 1 wrap time with TJ. An interesting part of the season because we're 6 rounds in, a third of the way in a really nice snapshot, and exactly what I said last week, the hardest round to tip that I can remember, and games were all over the shop with their results and their unpredictability. The first one, Tea Tree Gully and PAC, and it was a 50-point win to Tea Tree Gully for our Stream Team game, 18-8 to 9-12. The player we're going to have a look at is number 2, Chris Olsen for the Gullies. Chief goal scorers, Luke Brown is back, and he's back with a vengeance. 4 goals in his return game. Makes Tea Tree Gully all the more deadly. Tyler West continues his rich vein of form since the move up forward with 3. For PAC, it was Ben Ionello with 3 goals. Being a Stream Team game, we have got a lot of award winners, and I'll be joined shortly by Tony Neill to take me through some of the game. But the Moseley Voucher Best Team Player went to Chris Howard. Congratulations to Chris. The Neill North Mouthguard Player of the Day was Tyler West.
Of the opposition, Tea Tree Gully. West comes out, charges at it. Can he get around? Dodges 1, dodges 2. Doesn't look at giving it off. He says, "I'll go all the way myself." And that's what he does. That is a sensational goal, Tyler West.
And our Belgravia New Balance Dartfish Beanie and Archie Songs winner was Chris Olsen, the man you've had a bit of a look at. Some of the better players that didn't make the votes, Blake Penny and Ruck, as always, gave his all, as well as White and Robinson, whilst the PAC, McNamara and Tremenorden certainly gave their all. Let's look very quickly at the Player of the Year award votes, and it was 1 vote to Craig Pitt, 2 votes to Chris Howard, and 3 votes to Chris Olsen. But one of the great things is we've got people out and about on location, so without further ado, let me bring in expert commentator extraordinaire, Tony Neill. Oh, great to have you here, Tony. Of course, you were at the game. So let me just I've got the commentators' notes here from you and Adam Jeffries. 7 straight goals by Tea Tree Gully at quarter time to 3-3, full control, able to hold a 3 or 4 goal buffer all day.
Yeah, fantastic. They shared the load. That was the big thing with Tea Tree Gully. They had 11 goal scorers throughout the day. Tyler West, obviously a focal point from the week before. I reckon he kicked 5, maybe. Yep. Yesterday he kicks the 3. He did a beautiful swing around the corner, a magnificent goal. But what they did do was shared the load. So Luke Brown comes in. I think it was his first game of the year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And he's kicked 4 goals. He kicked 4 goals, 3 actually. Yep. So magnificent spread of goal kickers.
Yeah, question without notice. Is it fair to say that no Sumner hurt PAC with their structure, perhaps?
Yeah, exactly. Adam was mentioning that on and off air. Just the matchups were very hard to try and get right, and if one doesn't get you, the other one will. The other bit was they did change their game as the game went on because they were bombing it in, looking for Tyler West, and then when that wasn't working, well, you've got Luke Brown out in the pockets and Latham and these type of players.
Very good one-on-one, Luke Brown. Interestingly to note as well that this is a prelim final rematch, 126-point turnaround. So well done to Adam Shotter and the boys. I want to talk to you about the guys who got the votes and the awards. So many great awards. Craig Pitt was your best for PAC.
Oh, easily. It was wound back the clock. It wasn't just he knew where to go for marking. You'd see that last minute, the big fist would come through, and a lot of those, most blokes spoil it goes 2 or 3 minutes. They were big punches. He had effort behind it, 5, 6, 8 metres, huge punches. But then you'd see him, he'd chip the ball diagonally across. They were very possession centric, if you like, in that back line, and they used it well. The other bit is Teatree Gully go around the outside, PAC come through the middle. When he used it well, he would then run on to the next one, get it back again and use it again. So we saw that through the day as well.
No worries. Chris Howard, second best. Tell us a bit about his game.
Oh, magnificent, the man in the helmet. Just reading the play, and there's an art to, and he was on a player most of the day, but there's an art to when to leave your player and come forward to the ball and when to stay back. And some of his rebound defence was fantastic. And I'll say that, a lot of clubs talk about having a quarterback or a swingman, whatever, but he was actually on a player and played that game. Fantastic.
And best on ground, the award winner, the Belgravia voucher, the beanie, the thongs, the whole lot, the Archies. Chris Olsen, tell us about his game.
Well, he's settled into the team now. You've got to come in and get to know your teammates and their traits and everything. They've got to get to know you, and he worked really well. The other one was Zach McKay, who played a ripper as well. So they worked well together. But Olsen was everywhere, all over the ground, and they just couldn't get hold of him. So fantastic player.
No, Tony, always great to have the experts who are here. Thanks for giving us some insight into Teatree Gully and PAC. Yeah, well, in our next game, a sleeping giant has awoken. Port District have just let the competition know, they might just be as good as we thought, because they took an undefeated Sacred Heart. It was Sacred Heart 5-18. Oh, that's putrid kicking. 48. Port District 16-5, 101. A 53-point win with 2 less scoring shots. The player we're going to look at is the player I predicted to win the medal this year, number 11, Joey Haynes. He is a star and off half-back. He will cut you to ribbons. The chief goal scorer, well, all singles for Shock, but for Port, it was Preston Cockatoo Collins with 4 goals. A great effort indeed. Better players for Shock, well, Lauby certainly gave his all, and Gray and Lysette, what a combination they're making. The Gaffneys both hitting top form as well. Looking at some of the commentators' notes, Sacred Heart, they kicked with a breeze and they had their chance. They kicked 1 goal 7 and 3 out on the full. So they had 11 scoring shots. But then in the second quarter was when the Giant awoke. Port District with 9 goals in the quarter, and that was the game. The connection of Lysette and Gray was a real catalyst to getting the ball forward, and they did a lot of damage. So let's look at those votes. His work coming out of defensive 50 was just elite. It was Joey Haynes. Preston Cockatoo Collins with his 4 goals got 2 votes and best on ground. And no surprise to see the first use in ruck being given by Scott Lysette. He's only going to get better and better, you'd think. So Sacred Heart, just come back to earth a little bit. Port District, just let everyone know. Watch out, we're coming. On to our next game. The Spockers are on the board. St Peter's at Caterer Oval have got the chocolates. 9-14-68. Brighton 8-4-52. Well done on your first win. I'm sure they partied like it was 1999. And it was number 37, Ed Allen, who was the chief destroyer for St Peter's. Goal kickers, the heartbreak kid, Nick Michaels 2. And Rivers just continues to be consistent for Brighton. He kicked 3. Looking at some of the commentators' notes, it was the flyer that St Peter's got off to that gave them the start they needed to get that first win. 3 goals, 3 to no score in the first quarter. Also, shout out to Mike O'Leary. His primary forward all year, who's been super consistent, has been Johnny Reid. He actually moved Johnny Reid in defence to do a job, and he did a great job. It was a key move. And the other thing that really sort of was a measure of the result was kicking to the southern end, which is the school end or the clubroom end. Brighton were able to kick 1 point in the first and third quarter. So a total of 1 point across 2 quarters won't win you a game of footy. At 3-quarter time, Spock were up by 39 points. It was probably all said and done. But Brighton showed good fight, kicking 5 goals to 1 in the last quarter. Let's look at the votes here for Player of the Year. Max Henry, 1 vote for some tremendous clunks, a good aerialist, and took some telling marks for Spock. Henry Stewart Rattray, the young fella in ruck. I love that name, Stewart Rattray. Again, gave him first use. A good game by the youngster. And Ed Allen, that man, a ton of possession off of halfback. Everything went through him. He's a star, and he showed us why. Well done to Spock. From 1 can come 2. We saw what they could do with momentum last year. I reckon they won four of their last 5 games to avoid relegation. They've got players coming in. I just think they might be a little bit more dangerous, and they'll be looking very hard to get out of the relegation zone. All right, our next game was PNU versus Broadview. You want to talk about putrid goal kicking? Here's some for you. 7 goals, 21, 63 for PNU at home. At home. Broadview, 10-10-70. Broadview get the chocolates by 7 points. That dynamic left footer, number 27 for Broadview, Stephen Jackson, he's worth having a look at some of his kicks because he is just such a smooth operator. The goal kickers, Nick Kelly was the only multiple goal kicker for PNU with 2, whilst the Bozza, he always chimes in. He kicked 3, Big Johnny Boris up forward. The lead changed at every quarter. It was actually a good game of footy, except for, I guess, the pressure yielded some of the behinds, but you shouldn't be kicking 7 goals, 21. I don't remember any game ever where Payneham have kicked that fewer goals to that many behinds, 7-21. I do remember a famous second semi where they kicked 4-18, but they actually got the chocolates that day. In the third quarter, it was 3-7 to 1-2. Payneham had 10 scoring shots to 3. They had their chance to put the game away and they didn't take it. In the final quarter, again, just speaking to the inaccuracy, 3 scoring shots each. Brighton kicked 3 goals, Payneham kicked 3 points. It's as simple as that sometimes. It was a good game to watch, and in the second half, both teams took the game on. It was exciting around the ground, just Broadview being superior in their finishing. They were led by some of their better players, O'Leary, Baker and Fergus, whilst for PNU, Giannini and Nunn, as always, gave great service. The votes, 1 vote to Nick Kelly for his 2 goals for Payneham, 2 votes to Big Hamish Ralph from Broadview, and that man, Steve Jackson, best on ground. Probably our game of the round, or definitely our game of the round, was the thriller out at Harpers Field. It was Golden Grove 12-10-82, Glenunga 18-10-88, a seesawing game, and it was Harry Stephen Prosser, number 15, 17 disposals at 76%, 6 marks, 4 tackles and 4 goals. And there's a very rare you'll see a player in the best players of a Nathan Grimer team who doesn't have the tackle stats. You must contribute in all ways, and Harry Prosser did that. 4 beautiful goals to finish it off. He was joined by Bilby, who kicked 3 for the Rams, whilst for the Kookaburras, it was Patterson and Glenn with 2 goals apiece and 10 different goal scorers. So again, Golden Grove gave themselves every chance. The lead changed at every break, and it didn't just change at every break. Thanks to commentator Matt Gale for some great notes. 14 lead changes across the day. You tell me that's not an exciting game of football. Some of the stats as well. So these 2 teams both played in grand finals last year. Golden Grove took all before them in Division 2. 15 of their Div 2 team were playing yesterday, so certainly no excuses. For Glenunga, 9 of their team playing. Now, they've adjusted really well to that. One thing that might have hurt them was Michael McMahon being out. The leading goal kicker in Division 1 was out, but up steps Harry Prosser, very Glenunga-like. One soldier down, another one steps up. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at the goal kicked by Harry Prosser, 1 minute to go to give the Rams the victory.
Left in this game, one would think. Quick hand pass through the middle. It's time to take the game on. Quick kick out of the contest by Tame. Relatively easy shot. 45-degree angle. Likes it off the boot. He slotted it through for his 4th.
Tackles. There were stats done for this game, and I do love the Dartfish stats because they really do tell a story. Disposals. Golden Grove, 278. Glenunga, 246. Nothing unusual to see there. Have a look at this one. Marks, 85-32. They don't worry about short chippy unless it's going to get them out of the defensive area. Glenunga, they take the long ball, they get it out of the danger area. Tackles 79-72, speaks to the pressure and intensity of the game, but it was the hit-outs, 35-53, where Big Westy took control for Glenunga. That, in result, led to clearances being 29-17 in favour of the Rams, probably where they just get over the line. Finally, the votes. Well, Matty Gale did this game, and I know he's got a man crush on Josh Glenn, but he was clean, he was precise, and he had 20 very good touches. 1 vote. 2 votes to Mitch Payne, for his intercept work. He was fantastic. And best on ground, of course, was that man, Harry Prosser. Really good, interesting stats there, and thanks to our commentators who provide so much insight into what happened in the game. Player of the Year, we once again take a break from just to build that excitement, and there's some good names getting some votes. They're getting up there, so looking forward to re-releasing that in a week or two. But the ladder, wow, she's interesting now. Just a little bit of a pattern. Getting it up and having a look at it, it is Glenunga 6-0, but 60%. They now stand head and tails above the other teams and look like the team to beat. The falter from Sacred Heart, still in second spot, 5-1, 53%, but Port with a good win, up to 4-2, 53%. Then there's a logjam of teams on 3-3. Tea Tree Gully, PNU and Broadies, the percentage crucial there for Tea Tree Gully, keeping them in fourth position. And I tell you what, they're just starting to look like they might be a finals team. Then we've got Golden Grove 2-4, who are really starting to find their feet in Div 1. Despite losing to Glenunga, it's a very, very good showing. And PAC probably going the other way. It's looking like they actually could be in a relegation battle. Who can believe you're going to say that? They're 2-4, but just 42%, and the worst percentage in the league. That speaks volumes. Spock with their first win, move off the bottom. Brighton occupy that spot they wouldn't like for too long. We'll be looking for their second win as soon as possible. This week's games, Broadies and Spock. Spock are on the march, are they? But Broadies, you'd think at home would be too strong. Port versus PNU should be a real good contest, but I still feel like we haven't seen the very, very best of Port, and they're getting better with each run. Brighton and Tea Tree Gully. Well, Tea Tree Gully appear to have found their way, and they appear to have found some structure. Their midfield gelling. You'd think they'd be too strong for Brighton. Glenunga versus Sacred Heart. We thought this would be the battle of two undefeated teams. It's not. It's at Webb Oval, so again, they'll strangle them, and Glenunga will be too strong. And last but not least, PAC versus Golden Grove. Both teams are 2-4, sitting 7th and 8th. Doesn't feel like a 7th versus 8th battle, though. I think Golden Grove will be too strong. Thanks for watching the Division 1 report. We'll be back next week.
Northcote, and it's time for the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 Women's Wrap, and we've just been through round 6, so let's get into all the games. The first one we're going to have a look at is Broadview and Golden Grove. Now, looking at both of these teams coming into the match, Golden Grove coming off 2 wins in a row, really was starting to find some form in Division 1. Broadview, well, they were coming off a narrow loss to Morfettville where inaccuracy really killed them. So we've got 2 teams here that are really trying to prove themselves that they're up there with the top teams in this division. Well, how did it go? Broadview 6-12-48 defeated Golden Grove 1-3-9. That was a 39-point win to Broadview. Now, Broadview, they were a little bit inaccurate again with their 6-12, so that's 18 scoring shots for only 6 goals. But they did well in defence to keep Golden Grove goalless until the final quarter. And the first quarter really set them up, where they kicked 3 goals for to 0 goals 2. Now, for Broadview, let's have a look at who hit the scoreboard. Well, Liano Antonelli, she kicked 3 goals. Tamika Cox kicked 2 with single goal to Madison Hayden. Now, the best that was named for Broadview was Bree Arthur. We know she's a really strong player and has been at North Adelaide, has been coming off an injury, so it's good to see her perform back at the local level. Now, for Golden Grove, Liana Westingley, she was the only goal scorer for Golden Grove, but she takes her season total to 9. The best on ground for Golden Grove was Tali Borgas. Now, this win takes Broadview to 2 wins and 3 losses, which is the same as Golden Grove. But Broadview, with their percentage, they move up to 4th, and Golden Grove will be in 6th. Now, both teams here, as I said, looking to stay in touch with those top teams, so the next few rounds will be important for both of them, but it was Broadview this week that got the win. Moving on to the next game of the round, we had Payneham taking on Smosh Westlakes. Now, I did predict this as a Payneham win, but it was a little bit closer than I thought in the end. Payneham, 10 goals, 969, defeated Smosh, 6 goals, 642. So still a strong 27-point win to Payneham. And Payneham, well, as I would have expected, they led all day. They had a 3-goal-to-1 first quarter, and they were always going to win this game. But Smosh, well, they really finished the game strong. They won their last quarter, 21 points to 7. They kicked their entire score for the first 3 quarters in the final to double their score. So a really good performance there by Smosh in the first quarter. Well, Payneham, their win takes them to 5-0, top of the ladder. They've got the highest percentage. They're looking strong. The question now is who's going to challenge them, because they are really just flying along well. Their forward line is working together well. There've been some real consistency in their goal kickers. We're seeing, a few girls pop up every week and kick majors, which is obviously causing trouble for the opposition teams. Now, let's have a look at the best. No surprises here. It's Abby Clavey. She's kicked a goal in every game this year, and she's been up there in the best players for every game. She's having a huge year and doing really well to lead Payneham in all of their wins. Now, Macca would be happy down there at Payneham. Everything is really coming together there for the girls. They just have to keep getting the wins and playing their game, and they're really setting themselves up to be in a great position for the end of the year. Now, the final game of the round was between Henley and Goodwood Saints, and I was really looking forward to seeing how this one would play out. Now, Henley were coming off a loss to Payneham where they were pretty inaccurate. Goodwood, they were coming off the bye, and before that, their first loss for the seasons. Both teams here really looking to battle for second as the ladder sits at the moment. How did it go? Well, Henley 10-6-66 really put their foot down to defeat Goodwood 2-3-15. So a nice strong 51-point win to Henley. Now, Henley held Goodwood to their lowest score for 2024 and were a lot more accurate in their performance, where they kicked 10 goals this week, so a lot better in front of the big sticks. The Sharks led at every change and held Goodwood goalless to half time. Now, they kicked 4 straight in the final term as well to have their best quarter of the day. So they absolutely just kept pushing, and they must have been listening to me last week when I got a bit stuck into them about their inaccuracy, because, as I said, 4 goals straight in the last quarter. Now, for Henley, their best player was named as Steph Rayner in what I think would have been an all-round team performance. Now, this moves Henley into clear second with 4 wins and 1 loss. So they've only dropped their game versus Payneham, which is the team above them. So really, that's a great position to be in when the only team you've lost to is sitting above you. Now, all they really need to do is just keep maintaining their position in this division. Now, Morphettville Park, they had the bye this week and they are sitting in 5th on the ladder. Now, looking through to round 7, well, this will be the final round of matchups, because after this round, every team would have played each other. So I think we'll have a bit more of a look into the ladder next week, because we'll really be able to get a feel for how everyone is going. So the matches to look forward to next weekend, well, we've got Henley and Broadview playing each other at Henley, so that'll be 2nd versus 4th. I think this will be a really good matchup, a match that we could also see play out in the finals later in the year. Then we'll see Goodwood and Payneham. So this is 1st versus 3rd, and they'll be playing it at Payneham. The question here is, can Goodwood do it? Can they be the first team to take down Payneham? The last match of the round will be Golden Grove and Morphettville Park at Harpers Field. So this is 5th versus 6th. I think this will also be a good matchup, both teams wanting that elusive 3rd win, and also teams still trying to keep in touch with those kind of top 4 teams. I think this will be a close one. It might be a little bit too close to call. I'm just going to wait and see how that one goes. Yes, I'm sitting on the fence. Oh, just let me. But there's all good games here, and I think there'll be interesting results to come. Smosh will get the bye this week. And just now, having a quick look around the divisions, there was some serious stuff going on in the Division 5 Women's League. So Salisbury, they kicked 18 goals 8 as a team to defeat West Croydon. Having a look at the goal scorers, huge 7 goals to Jamie Lee Sonneman. So well done, Jamie Lee. That's just a huge effort. Now, moving through the same division, Division 5, Athelston versus North Haven. Well, the Raggies kicked 14 goals, and if you thought 7 goals was big, I raise you 8 goals by Natalie Lohman. That's right, 8 goals. And she is now sitting on 22 for the season, is Natalie Lohman. She leads the goal kickers in the division, but coming in hot is the aforementioned Jamie Lee Sonneman on 21. So I'm definitely going to keep you posted on this division shootout because it is all happening. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Division 1 women's competition and a bit of a look around the divisions as well. I will see you next week. Until then, keep enjoying your footy.
And it's time for our Farmers Leap Coach of the Week. Of course, it comes from Division 5 this week, so nominated by Vince Cosme, and it's the man, Stephen Zweck, the Z-Man from Colonel Light Gardens, a worthy recipient indeed. Undefeated after 6 games currently, and coming off the top of the table clash, come from behind victory over the Greenacres Dragons, and that was Greenacres' first loss of the year. His effective leadership and team capabilities allow him to perform under pressure. It looks like a very strong season ahead for the Lions. So well done to Stephen Zweck on being the Farmers Leap Coach of the Week. And it's that time. You Div 7 fans have been waiting for it all year. We are going to take a deep dive with Tony Neill into the Division 7 third of a year report.
Yeah, it's interesting, Tommy. 8 teams in Division 7, and our top 2 are Sullivan's Beach, Lonsdale and Para Hills. First and second are very close, and I'll start looking at the numbers, and we first of all look at Sullivan's Beach. They've kicked 631 for, 369 against. Para Hills have kicked 823 for, so almost 200 different there, and 271 against, so almost 100 less as well. However, O'Sullivan's Beach did defeat Para Hills earlier in the year.
Just last week.
They sit on top of the ladder.
5 points. Daniel Weecher with a shot on the siren to make it a draw. Just went over the post. It's good stuff.
All right, teams down from last season. So Smithfield in 8th position and Brahma Lodge in 6th. Sometimes I say don't worry about the division, just if they're out there playing football and the community's out there. And I know Smithfield get the huge crowd all down around that pocket there, and Brahma Lodge I'm going to get out to and have a chat to because I know they recruited well in the pre-season. So that's where they sit, but football is football. Draw in round 4 between Brahma Lodge and Mitchell Park. Will this affect the finishing position? Those teams at the moment are in 6 and 7 respectfully, but that may go up and down.
Yeah, interesting just on Brahma Lodge as well, mate. A man you've interviewed before. Hopefully I'm not stealing your thunder. Congratulations to Dean Steele, who played his 150th club game. Of course, premiership player, premiership coach, so great stalwart of the club.
No, fantastic, Tommy. The other bit, you've got to have depth for those teams up the top. For O'Sullivan's Beach, I know they've been plugging away for a long time. And a special shout out to Anthony Bernhardt down there, who always helps us when we go down for reconciliation round and a lot of the other activities they have there. But the job that himself and his committee has done over the years, and they're having some success now on the back of that work. So the depth is so important. So you might have your top 21, 22, but if it drops away and you haven't got the players to come through, then your season might go. But the reserves ladder, very quickly, in the top 3, Para Hills and O'Sullivan's Beach, Lonsdale. So that gives you strength in your depth and also competition for spots.
Yep.
Hackham. They've won the first 2 games this season. They're looking good. Then they dropped away. They won this round over Mawson Lake. So another win.
Well done, you Hawks.
So they sit at, they'll be up at 3-3 and they're 4th on the ladder now. So they're around the mark. Another team that changed coach but recruited well. By the numbers. So, you know, Tommy, I like to analyse things.
Oh, here comes the Da Vinci Code, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourselves in.
So OSB Lonsdale in the first 6 rounds have won 21 of 24 quarters, which is outstanding. The goals in the first to second half ratio. So how is a team finishing under fatigue versus when they're fresh? 8-9, 10-7, 9-8, 8-7, 5-8. Yesterday, 6 and 12. So they're coming home strong. Good consistency through their games. Para Hills, in their first 6 rounds, they've won 21 of 24 quarters as well. So 21, this is how close these teams are. Both have won 21 quarters. Their first and second halves, 10-9, 7-13. Good there. 8-10. Good there. 16-9. So they drop away. 6-4, they drop away. Yesterday, 12-29. So they're...
Yep. Can I just make that clear to the viewers? So those stats are goals in the first half versus goals in the second half.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. So interesting to look at that. You know, Para Hills, a couple of bigger scoring second halves, certainly. The next round coming up. Well...
Round 7. In Div 7.
It is. So this week, the middle teams, 3rd and 4th place. So Flinders University play Hackham. 5th and 6th play, Mawson Lakes versus Brahma Lodge. So we've got those teams squashed up, really vying for positions. And then we go into the other 2 games. The top half of the ladder plays the bottom half. So 2nd versus 7th, which is Para Hills versus Mitchell Park. And 1st versus 8th, which is O'Sullivan's Beach Lonsdale versus Smithfield.
Which will, of course, complete the cycle in an 8-team comp. Everyone would have played everyone once. We've got a real good snapshot of where everything lies.
Yeah, very good point, Tommy. Pardon me. News around the division. Well, I've had a look on the socials.
Shouldn't you put your hat on? Should you put your news hat on? Go on, sorry, mate.
All right, Para Hills Footy Club, the Ladies' Day, Saturday the 25th of May from 2 p.m. So should be a big day down there. I love looking at these lower divisions, and the social side of it is very important as well for your success along the way. Flinders Uni, so a couple of milestones, 50 club games, Cameron Eaton, congratulations, and 150 club games to Jordan Smith, so congratulations there. They also have their $5 Pass Players Day on Saturday the 25th of May, that's this week, versus Hackham.
I shouldn't ask questions without notice. What does that mean, a $5 Pass Players Day?
No, that's the drinks, Tommy.
Okay, so the beers are $5.
Correct.
Pass players, well, get on down.
Yeah, as in past prices as well.
Yeah, that is. Age-old prices.
4p.
Yeah.
Mitchell Park milestones, recently Ryan Doherty, 100 games, so congratulations to Ryan. Dozza says, I wonder how he got that nickname from Doherty. Dozza. Anyway, and Smithfield, we'll love this one, might venture down there for this. This Saturday at 7 p.m, the beer pong and the darts competition, event by the Smithfield Sports
Let's
Club.
hope they don't merge. Because beer darts would not be good.
Very good. Okay, best players and goal lists. Let's have a look. So the best player lists, 6 games played, 6 times in the best. Brandon, now how do we say that?
Walchek, yep.
Walchek, Mitchell Park. Luke Allen from Hackham, he's been in his best 5. And Mark French from Flinders Uni, he's been in his best 5, but I will say he's only played the 5 games. Yeah. So outstanding there.
Consistent.
Goals, I know we're going to talk about this later on as well, but Daniel Wheatra has kicked 44 goals in 6 games. So is he another one that might be on tape? There might be a few that kick 100 this year.
I guess I should never ask a question without notice, but is it an 18-round season for Division 7?
That's a very good question, Tommy. Anyway, Daniel Wheatra kicked 7 yesterday. Yep. Trevor Rigney, outstanding young man he is. Young. When you're my age, anyone's young. 29 goals. Glenn Draper from Hackham with 21 and Duncan Brown from Mawson Lakes with 16. That is our Division 7 wrap.
Tony, you have been outstanding. Hopefully all you Division 7 footballers have enjoyed it. We're back with more Between the Posts after this short break. Welcome back to Between the Posts. It's that time of the week to hit those emojis. You might be voting for the best mark or goal or just for your mate at your local footy club. But it is time for the goals and marks of the week.
Ball off West Boot, bangs it inside 50, goes to Josh Glenn, only needs to settle. He's on today, and he slotted an absolute ripper. So it's gone bang, bang, goal for goal.
Bennett goes long. He's there. 2-1.
Welcome back to Between the Posts, and it's time for What Caught Our Eye. Oh, the graphics, Hugo, you're a star. Okay, Tony, let's start at your end, mate. You're the Div 7 expert. What caught your eye in Div 7?
Yes, well, O'Sullivan's Beach Lonsdale alluded to it earlier. They are on top, undefeated. And also the goal scorers, Daniel Wheatra has 44 and Rigney has 29. In answer to your question earlier, the draw has not been confirmed for the 8-team competition.
Okay, there you go. What caught my eye was that man from Mitchell Park, Brandon Walshak. Best on ground on the weekend. He's been best in the best players all 6 games, and he's certainly one of the chief catalysts to the Mitchell Park pushing forward and recovering to a slow start for the year. On the weekend, 7-2 to 1-3, 7th place Mitchell Park up against Flinders Uni. Unfortunately, they got done by 23 points, 6 goals to 1 in the last quarter. Got the job done for the boys that they call the Crabs. All right, I'll go first in Div 6, mate, because it is the goal-kicking shootout between Rosenhall from Fitzroy on 54, Knapp from Eastern Park on 53. These guys keep hitting the scoreboard. Fitzroy only scored 6 goals on the weekend. Rosenhall still kicked 3, and Nappy kicked 4 in the 40-point win over St. Paul's.
It's a good one, isn't it? And we talked about that. How many are going to get to 100? And there could be a couple in one.
Wet weather's coming, though. Wet weather's coming.
You are correct. For Division 6, mine was Elizabeth. Fantastic to get some great news coming out of Elizabeth. We're always supporting and positive with them. And they had their first B-grade game yesterday, which was fantastic. You wouldn't believe it. They won as well over Central United. They kicked 3-3 to 1-2 in the 4th quarter, and I reckon that would have been like winning the grand final. It was great for the club.
The B grade's undefeated, mate. What can you say? What caught your eye in Division 5, Tony?
Colonel Light Gardens versus Green Acres. The 2 top teams played off undefeated. It was at Green Acres. Colonel Light Gardens win by 11 points. They kicked 3-3 to 1-2 in the fourth quarter in a close game.
Yeah, no wonder it caught your eye. It certainly caught mine as well. Same game, two undefeated teams. Greenacres led it every quarter, but on the back of some Kai Dean brilliance, it was indeed the Lions who remain the undefeated team. All right, Division 4, mate. And there was no bigger game on the cards we've been waiting for. It was 1 versus 2. Kilburn versus the Hounds. It was at Daly Oval as well, so Hectorville's home ground. Lead changed it every quarter. What a thriller it would have been. But 5 goals to Corey Solly led them to a narrow 2-point win.
Yeah, fantastic, Tommy. And look, I enjoy getting out in the grounds and having a look. And Kenilworth, home ground, of course, they've got the Sportal scoreboard, and I'm going to talk it up because the Sportal scoreboards are absolutely sensational. So you go to the game and then you're watching, and then there's this massive scoreboard in the background. It's not just showing the scores, it's giving you footage, it's giving you
replays,
film, sponsors, it's got everything. So I am going to bang on about the Sportal scoreboards. They are fantastic. And they won Kenilworth by 179 points. That was a huge win.
Plenty of positive replays in a win like that. All right, Division 3, I'll lead off on this one, mate, because well done. It looked like it was going to be a long year, but Hope Valley have had a win, and a good win over 6th place Pembroke. The Kings were made to look like, well, not like Kings. 34-point win there to the Valleys, their first win of the year. And those beautiful northeastern sunsets you get at Hope Valley Reserve, there will have been a couple of quiet beverages as the sun set down on Hope Valley.
All right, now, Henley, they too have a new Sportal scoreboard. The difference there, now Tim Pillion, our Division 3 specialist, sent me through some photos that we asked for.
Yep.
Fantastic to see the scoreboard up and running. They also run their sponsors through it. When a goal scores, they flash up goals. So the people are using the scoreboards in different ways. They can do community announcements as well. 28 scoring shots to 16. They defeated Seaton Ramblers. Darren Mead we had on recently as Coach of the Week. They kicked 7-6 to 4-2 in the second half. So really coming home strong in that game in Division 3.
Yeah, of course, Seaton playing all those up-front games away from home and still really battling away. So, all right, I'm going to have a look at the ladder in Division 2. So that's going to come up for us, and it's a really, really interesting ladder because the top 4, they seem to have moved away a little bit in Salisbury North, Modbury, the Rockabye Babies and the Raggies. But 5th place Flinders on 3 and 3 are being hunted by 4 teams, 6th through to 9th, all on 2 and 4. And it's those 4 teams that interest me as well. Iggy's, they recovered from a horrible Division 1. They're just starting to find a little bit of their faux shizzle, for lack of a better term. The surprise packet to see down there is Goodwood. Who would have thought? Uni started like a house on fire. They're 2 and 4. And Foss, all these teams, I reckon you've got probably 5 teams fighting for 5th spot there, Tony. And,
we talked about coaches' performance and so on. They'd be having the thinking hats on and doing their research, using the filming footy stats, of course, and all the Dartfish vision as well. But that's a really interesting comp to have a look at. For myself, it was 2nd versus 3rd, Athelston versus Modbury Hawks, and that was won by... both teams had 1-4 each. It was at Modbury. So Athelston were on a march towards Division 1. Are they? Are they not? They were stopped with this loss to Modbury. Matty Knight is the coach, doing a great job out there, great friend of all of us here. 4th place now, equal with Ross Trevor, who are 3rd, so 4 wins and 2 losses. So you alluded to it, Tommy, what a great comp Division 2 is.
A really interesting one there that both those coaches came through the Central District system, so would have been a really good coaching matchup. And, of course, our last one. Take us home for Division 1, mate.
Well, I'm already. I got excited about this segment because, every week there's a studio audience in there. And we've got one again this week. We've got one person here.
2, really.
Well, one's the producer. Anyway, here it is. Sacred Heart. Wait for this one. 23 scoring shots. They kicked 5 goals, 18. So very inaccurate. Port District, 21 scoring shots. So 2 less scoring shots. Kicked 16-5. Port District win by 53 points on 2 less scoring shots. So that is what caught my and our eye in Division 1.
Bad kicking is bad football. Now, normally we don't know what each other are going to say, but you know what I'm going to say in Division 1, mate. And I know you're cock-a-hoop excited and about to jump on the bandwagon. It's not Mike Lowry, it's Mike O'Leary. And the boys from Spock, they were outstanding on the weekend. They knocked off Brighton, had a very convincing win in the end, really strong win. So well done to Spock and the boys, mate. It's great to see every team in Division 1 has now had a win.
I'd sing the club song if I knew it. Is it They Win the Saints?
I'm not sure, mate.
There we go. Can't the Saints.
Fantastic. And
Spockers.
The Spockers, yes. There'll be some happy people down there. The very last thing that caught my eye, outside of the A grade was Daniel Golding from Tea Tree Gully, 400 games. You'd be out of prison for murder quicker than playing 400 games. It takes some time. So, not that he did, but well done to Daniel. You've been a great club stalwart and you deserve all the accolades from all of those at the Gullies. Thanks for watching What Caught Our Eye. We'll be back next week. And welcome back to Between the Posts. It is, of course, the close of the show, brought to you by our very good long-time close personal friends at SAPOL. Keeping community safe, SAPOL. I don't want you to be sad, Tony.
I always get sad at the end of the show, Tom.
Yeah, get over it, mate. The first thing we need to do is thank all the sponsors, the amazing sponsors. Obviously, the Archies sit over my shoulder and in my bedroom, but there are all the wonderful sponsors help us operate, mate. But you'll be out and about with your hat this week. I think might be Coach of the Week. Could be having a quick catch-up with you.
Coach of the Week, I'll get out and put the hat back on, and I won't have the special case for it, but I'll put it on. So we'll come out to present those magnificent Farmers Leap wines to the Coach of the Week. And also Thursday night, if I can, there's a Division 1 club that I'm busting to get to, and they've got a pretty big sponsor as well, so we're going to do a sponsor spotlight out there. But it's always interesting to get around the clubs. They're always welcoming to us, so we do thank all of those clubs that we get out to.
They are fantastic. I'll tell you who else is fantastic. All our wonderful viewers who take the time to tune in, whether it's on YouTube or watch different footage, voting with the emojis for the goals and marks of the week. You're wonderful. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you for joining me today, Tony Neill. We'll see you in about 7 weeks. Thanks for watching Between the Posts.